Hello again YouTube, and welcome back to Just Get a Tesla's Monday Musings. On this one, I want to talk, if I can, briefly about charge points, or specifically the lack of charge points in the United Kingdom here in February 2023, because there was a newspaper article over the weekend which actually warned Tesla drivers, that's me and hopefully some of you, that we're going to be in trouble if we try and go to some of the UK's tourist hotspots this summer with our electric cars, because there is a real shortage of charge points in quite a lot of these places. This is a problem, and frankly this has always been a problem. You know, what everybody is excited about, I think, now is just how quickly EVs are taking off. You know, 1 in 3 new cars sold in the UK in December was electric. All of these vehicles need charging. Now, the network simply isn't keeping up with it, and it's kind of what I call the Wild West of charging, because at the moment you have got all of these competing networks all going at each other to be able to put the infrastructure in. Every single charge point that gets installed needs planning permission and needs a power feed, and the problem is that they're just not being done fast enough. So the article in The Guardian talks about places like Dorset, so you know, the Jurassic Coast, if you've seen the programme Broadchurch, or you've been down there, fabulous part of the country, but they've got 133 charge points in the whole area, so 35 chargers per 100,000 people in an area which, according to the article, gets 3.6 million tourists. That is just not enough, and I know for a fact and through experience that there are big holes in the charger infrastructure. So I used to live on Teesside, and North Yorkshire has always been a black spot right since the very beginning. Frankly, North Yorkshire County Council didn't get EVs, whether it's for ideological or political or organisational purposes, I don't know. Maybe they're just rubbish. The point is, they were always very slow. So places like Whitby or Filey, even, you know, there are places where you can charge these cars up, but there's not anywhere near enough of them. All the way back in 2014, we had a Nissan Leaf, a 24 kilowatt hour one. We love Whitby, and we had an electric car, and we simply couldn't drive it from Teesside to Whitby and back again without it being a bit tight on power, and with there being at that point nowhere at all to charge a car in Whitby. Nowhere. The other issue that you have is a lot of the legacy chargers that exist, so the ones that have been around for quite a while, are probably broken, right? They just are. Again, you look on ZapMap, you find a charge point, always go and look at the chat tab on any charge point that you're interested in. Go on the chat and see what people are saying. How many of them do you find where the connector's broken, or it won't register any kind of card or app or anything, or there's a little screen on the top to tell you and that is broken? So many of these charge points have basically been abandoned by the companies who put them in, and because effectively you have got, in a lot of cases, one company doing the install, the council giving the authority, and then another company doing the back office maintenance and charging, it kind of falls through the gaps, so no one owns a lot of these charge points. Now, this is less of a problem if you just get a Tesla, because you've got a big battery, and the other point, of course, is we've got the destination charger network, which nobody else really can get access to. So if you go to hotels or guest houses, or sometimes shopping places, whatever, you will find these Tesla destination chargers there, which will give you up to 11 kilowatts basically for patronizing them. Now that's really good, and I have used those, but it still is going to be an issue. So here's the point, and this isn't a long video, this one. It's not particularly long, because I think it's a fairly simple point. If the number of people registering an EV is going to keep going up and up and up and up, there needs to be some serious thought and serious investment put into the charger network. And this, for me, isn't just sticking more charge points in, although we need that as well. It's how are they being managed? How are they being regulated? Because I can go on to ZapMap and you have a filter on there for which network is the charger going to be on. And you start scrolling down the list and there's multiple pages of networks. What that means is that almost all of these end up where you have to register. So you have to go online onto their website and put your email address in and your address and your bank or credit card details. And then you end up with an app, and it's a faff. It's absolute faff when you've got network after network after network after network where you're having to go and do this. So then you get there and you're then still reliant on, is the charge point actually working? If it is working, is it going to deliver anything like the kind of power it's supposed to be? Because some of them just trickle along now. Is the app going to work? Do I have a phone signal here where the thing is to be able to get the thing to register? I couldn't get the charge cable out of the Mer charge point because their Mer app, and I'm going to keep saying Mer because it's a brilliant name for a business, the Mer app wasn't working. The bar that you're supposed to swipe across to stop charging was grayed out. So I'm charging, the app has decided that it doesn't know that I'm charging, and it's telling me the charge point that I'm on is occupied, yes, by me, but it won't let me stop my charge to be able to release the cable. So I'm having to get on the phone and ring a guy in a call center who's able to reset the thing remotely. But with a lot of these things, there is no call center, there is no person you can call. It's literally just abandoned. It's the Wild West. So this is the problem. We're gonna have to fix this, otherwise we're seeing this big rise in the number of people getting an EV, but then it's going to start dropping again when they have these nightmares about how do I charge it, where do I go? I mean, again, to reiterate the point, for the majority of the time, you charge your car while you're asleep. It's that simple. You can't fill up a petrol or diesel tank while you're asleep, but you can fill up your EV battery. And anywhere that's got a 3-pin socket, and let's be honest, a lot of places, wherever you're going, you can get an extension lead and your granny charger and you can plug the thing in. Now, before somebody says you can't use an extension lead on a granny charger, yes you can. Go to any DIY store and buy a proper 13 amp rated extension lead, right? A professional one, not the little one in a drum, because that's going to have a thin wire, but a proper 13 amp one, right? And plug into that. It's only pulling 10 amps. You might want to consider the plug socket that you've actually gone into, so turn your car down. It doesn't even have to take a continuous 10 amps. You can set it to 8 or 6 or whatever. It will slow down the charge, but you're getting something while you're asleep. And with a lot of things, you know, a lot of holidays, people aren't driving around all the time. I'm going to do the North Coast 500 in a couple of months, and I will be driving all the time, but most people, you know, they get somewhere, they park up, they might do a little bit of mileage and then they come back. So even if you're only getting a trickle charge in every night, then that's going to make a difference. But it is just this point about, look, you know, you've got to think when you're doing these things, and it is just the can I plug the thing in? And unfortunately, that is a reality of having an EV here in the UK in 2023. But I would be fascinated in the comments to hear from anyone who's not in the UK and is still watching this, thanks, about what experience you've got in all of the other countries you're in. So America, France, Canada, Australia, Netherlands, Germany. I know people are watching, and of course the United States of America, a lot of you in America. What experiences have you got with your charger networks? Is it the same thing as it is here? Because otherwise what's going to happen is we are going to see in the summer the rabid right-wing press who want to destroy EVs because they want to destroy environmentalism, because they want to destroy the societal change which threatens their SPIV owners being able to make money off us. They will be all over any kind of story that they can about how EVs have failed, about how EVs are a nightmare, about, oh look, there's a queue of people who can't charge their fancy Teslas. Aren't they stupid? Well, no, we're not stupid. You're stupid for writing that kind of rubbish. But we know it's going to happen, and people who are a bit, do I want to get one or not, are going to think, oh, it's not worth the risk, is it? Well, it is, but don't worry about it. Anyway, that's it for this week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell icon. Please put in the comments what you think and what your own experiences have been, and I'll see you very soon right here on Just Get a Tesla.